Okay, this wasn't expected. Okay, so can't ride in snow, and this is forecast for 2 days now, but they only forecasted it last night, so I have no idea what to do now. I need a plan. Okay, so I woke up at 6 o'clock to pretty devastating news that that it snowed, which is probably the only thing I can't ride in. But it's now 9:15. As you can see, it's all starting to turn to slush, and the main road's been ploughed, and the sun's out. So I'm rather hoping that if I can get it out of the car park without dropping it, and get it onto the main road, I might be able to make it the 40 odd miles or so down to where it stops snowing. Been talking to the locals here and talking to the drivers as they're coming through, and the road conditions are improving, so I think in another hour or so I should be able to set off, but not exactly the start to the day that I wanted. I've got best part of 400 miles to ride now, so it's going to be a long day, but hey ho, part of the adventure. Okay, it's about 10:30 and things have improved. There's still a fair bit of snow, it is still snowing and the clouds are still looming. But I forget this is not the UK. They deal with stuff better than we do. And the roads were ploughed at 7 o'clock this morning. It is May, so the sun was reasonably strong, so it has melted quite quickly. I've got about 40 miles before the altitude drops to a point where we shouldn't have snow and we might be a few degrees warmer. But yeah, I'm going to make a break for it and just wish me luck. Okay, let's go. Let's not go, because the left side's down. Okay, let's go. So the annoying thing about this route is I've actually got to do a fair bit of the same roads that I've already done getting up here. So I'm going to go down from Yellowstone down through Ashton into Idaho Falls, and then I've got to cross back through Burley, where I stayed on my way here. Needless to say, given the time frames that I've got, my bike gets serviced tomorrow in Boise. I've got to push 400 miles today. So it's going to be a grueling day, but it's got to be done. But there was no way that I was going to leave while there was snow on the ground. That would just be very foolhardy. And as it looks like, they've done a brilliant job of keeping this road open. And it stays like this, and I'm careful, I should be able to make progress today. So hey, here goes. Yeah, glad I didn't try and come out last night. Okay, we're coming up to the Tahi Pass. We've only been going about 10 miles, but this is the high road pass to get you up to Yellowstone. Just been passing lots of sort of chain up areas. Yeah, it's a bit of a worry really. I'm terrified. This is not nice. But if I get past this, it's down the elevation and into warmer levels, hopefully. But at least everyone's being sensible. I think we're going about 35-40 mile an hour, and no one's complaining. So I'm just gonna pick my way through, hopefully. These guys are doing a great job. I'm so glad they were out early this morning. They've actually got the road into a state that I can ride. So grateful. Okay, I've been quite lucky up to now. Been stuck behind this guy here who's doing a lovely sort of steady sort of 40-45 miles an hour, and I've been following his tracks. He's turning off now. There's a queue of traffic behind me. I'm tempted to let one of them past. picked the lead. Yeah, this is not good. The one thing I hate about Idaho, I've done 3 days riding in Idaho now, and it's the crosswinds. You get to bits like this that are flat, there's no escape from them. You just get blown everywhere. It's like somebody trying to twist your head off your shoulders. You can't get away. That's a bit better. 30 miles outside Yellowstone now. And it doesn't look like they've had anywhere near as much snow. They have had some, but nowhere near as much. So well, I think we're about 1,000 or 2 feet lower than Yellowstone. So I'm really glad that's I'm through that bit, and hoping it doesn't come back and bite me. We'll see. Okay, a few miles from Ashton now, and we're descending quite quickly. But looking at the weather heading west, I've got to get down to Idaho Falls in about 50-60 miles. We're going to stop and clean myself up a bit because the road grinders made visibility quite difficult. So I'm going to have a stop, fill the bike up, have a cup of coffee, warm up, maybe change my clothes, and then the weather looks like it might be kinder to me for the rest of the trip. My sat nav says I still have 340 miles left to go, so it is going to be a long day, but it gets me in the right place. It's a shame I had to leave late. I was going to sort of do this in lots of little legs, but hey, there's no way I was riding in that snow. So yeah, looking up, things are looking up. Always worth taking a chance, I suppose. Okay, so coming out of the mountains, it's quite grubby roads, and I'm just looking at the state of my bike. Bearing in mind I cleaned it yesterday, it is manky, I'd say is the nicest word. I'm rather hoping that Lance tomorrow will have somewhere for me to clean it and I can give it a wash. But yeah, rough going. So I don't know if it's I don't like Idaho or Idaho doesn't like me. But weather's changed again. So I've done 120 miles. I've had something to eat, filled up the bike. I've got 270 left to go to try and get me into Boise tonight. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to probably go as far as I can and then stop short. But I do need to go to Boise because I have iPad problems. It seems like my iCloud drive is taking up all of my memory, even though I've got 2 terabytes on iCloud. To get it there, iDrive just keeps getting fuller and fuller. Every time I save something, it gets full. Which is one of the reasons why my Sunday post is probably going to be late. It's because I have to delete so much stuff just to be able to save a video ready for YouTube. So I found an Apple shop in Boise, and I'm hoping they might be able to say, "Oh, you muppet, you just need to do this." So I am desperate to sort of push into Boise without losing too much time. But anyway, looks like the weather's going to get me again. But the crosswind, you'll be pleased to know, is in a southwesterly direction, which at the moment is exactly the direction I'm heading. So it's head on, which is actually quite comfortable. I'm not having my head ripped off, but I do start to head a little further more west a little bit later, and it's gonna hurt. Hey ho. This is fun. I really don't like Idaho. I think we can keep Idaho. Okay, it's snowing now. That's all I need left now. It's a sunstroke by the end of the day, and I'd have had the lot. Okay. Right, just had a bit of a splash and a dash. Put a little bit of fuel in my bike because I'm only 80 odd miles outside Boise. And as you can see, the weather's changed. All you got to do is wait 5 minutes and it'll change again. But yeah, the last 100 miles or so has been quite nice. I've managed to dry out a little bit, and I'm not as frozen as I was. So yeah, splash a dash of fuel because I really don't want a full fuel tank for the for taking it into Lance tomorrow for the service, because that's just going to make his life difficult. I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I've got just enough fuel to get me to where I need to go, into Boise, Idaho. Yep. I'll stop for a coffee, and you can never get the same cup of coffee twice in this place. Doesn't matter which service station you use, it comes out tasty. There's loads of weird flavours. What's wrong with coffee? But yeah, never mind. Okay, stick with me. I'm about an hour away from Boise, Idaho, and I've picked out a couple of really cheap, nasty hotels. Hopefully I can find a room in one of those. See you later. Loving those clouds. Very arty, yes. Well done, Idaho. You've got arty clouds. Really pretty. This is called Paradise Valley. Yep, Paradise Valley. It's quite nice. It's not exactly paradise, but it's quite nice. Right, okay, so this is Lance. Lance has just serviced my bike for me. We had an oil change, we've looked at the filter and checked a few things, so I'm ready to go back on my way again. I do have a saying, people have heard me say it, that the man with the most toys, whoever dies with the most toys wins. Lance, you are definitely in the lead, man. You have more bikes than anyone has a right to. But thanks very much for doing that service for me. Really grateful. Okay, thanks again. Now here's the thing, I've entered Oregon and we're on Highway 20 on my way to a little town called Burns. Left Boise this morning and it's been miserable, so I didn't bother putting the camera on, didn't bother even putting it on the helmet, because the crosswinds tend to try and rip it off your head. But I've had to stop and put the camera back on, because I'm through this lovely little valley on Highway 20 that's really quite impressive. I've done a load of it already, which I'm not going to go back and film, but I just figured that it might be getting better as we go along. Still very windy here and very cold, but look at this place. It's just like gorgeous, absolutely lovely. It's got a beautiful little river running down the valley at the bottom. Yeah, Highway 20, it's lovely. Oregon, I'm impressed. I'm not very easily impressed anymore, because I've seen riding through America the last 6 weeks. I've been through some of the most amazing terrain and countryside on the planet. It's beautiful. But this is lovely. I'm enjoying this. This is a lovely little ride. But anyway, I've got to spend the night in a little town called Burns, only because it's halfway between Boise and the place I really want to get to that I can't pronounce yet. But I'll tell you about that when I get there tomorrow. Yeah, really enjoying this little valley. Anyway, stick with me. This place reminds me of Wales. Oregon, twinned with Brecon Beacons. No, Brecon Beacons aren't this high. Snowdonia? Definitely Wales. Now this really does remind me of Wales. Stuck in a traffic jam at a red light in the middle of nowhere. The only thing, no sheep. Wales is to be peppered with sheep. Not Wales, Oregon. It's lovely though. I like Oregon. Don't like Idaho.
This season, I'll be mostly wearing nipple clamps.
A merino wool base layer with one pair of woolly socks and one pair of cheap Walmart socks over the top. A thick Kevlar lined chinos with a wicking t-shirt, quilted liner to my jacket, Merlin waxed jacket with padding and armour, Richer waterproof overlayer, BKS Gore-Tex waterproof gloves, and a Schubert E1 helmet. I said a Schubert E1 helmet. Okay, the snow seems to have followed me. I've just done about 140 miles on what they call high desert from where I stopped in Burns last night and where I'm heading for. I really like to see Crater Lake, but the last 140 miles have been quite hard. Following these snow showers, luckily they're not really settling, but I'm bitterly cold, and the wind is just relentless. I've had enough. I don't know why, but ever since I left Yellowstone, I've been battling the weather. It's not fun. I've had enough now. Quite sure this would be lovely if it wasn't snowing. Okay, it's been another miserable day that's forced me to stop riding well early, so it's only 4 o'clock, but as per usual, when the weather beats me or when I'm so tired I can't actually think and I decide I've got to stop, that's when the sun comes out. Look at it, it's flipping lovely. But anyway, I've got a place, this little lovely place here called the Aspen Inn. The Aspen Inn is it's about 15-20 miles outside or to the south of Crater Lake, which is quite something to look at. I'm rather hoping to pop up there tomorrow morning because apparently the weather's going to be really nice. But anyway, they managed to fit me in there, and I'm really grateful for them. I was going to try and see if I could push on a bit further, close the gap on San Francisco a little bit. In the end, the weather beat me. You can't do sort of 250, 300 miles in driving snow, and you just can't do it. It beats you. I was cold to the core, to the point where I couldn't actually physically function anymore, so I had to stop. But like I say, as soon as you stop, sun comes out. But hey ho, I'm just off to the shops now because there's no real places to eat up there, so I'm off to the shops now to get some dinner for tonight, something I can pop in the microwave, and a few beers maybe, and yeah, settle down for the night and get an early start tomorrow morning. But tomorrow the roads look like they're going to be pretty spectacular. We're into Redwoods now, which is a new scenery for me. I haven't been up this far yet, but the weather looks like it's going to change tomorrow, which is going to be very welcome. So anyway, that's me for today. Like I say, beaten by the weather, but that's been the story of this trip, I think. But hey ho, speak to you later. This is nice. It's a lovely scene. It's very sort of Christmas-like. What it hides is the fact that the road hasn't had any sun on it. It's as icy as hell. Something else to worry about. Great. This is not fun. Christ almighty. Only 33 more miles of this, and at the speed I'm going, that's an hour. This road is called Dead Indian Highway. Oh, sorry, Dead Indian Road. I read about it last night. It's a pretty controversially named road, and no one could decide what to rename it to, so they've stuck Memorial on the end of it. So Dead Indian Memorial Highway now. Yeah, absolutely beautiful road. Amazing. I love these trees. It's just this weather. This trip has been absolutely plagued with the weather, and even before I left, I was listening to weather forecasts that were saying that they were getting unseasonably late dumps of snow in the high grounds around. I cut my route short to keep it further south. Didn't bother pushing up to sort of places like Mount Rushmore, Sturgis, places like that. I deliberately kept my route to the south, and it just seems like the weather followed me down, and doesn't matter where I go now. It's picked the worst weather to throw at me. You know, there's a snowplow, for crying out loud. It's May. It's the middle of freaking May. Okay, I'm rather hoping the worst of it's over, but I've spoken too soon before and I really shouldn't do that. But okay, this is Shaky's top tips for how to ride a motorbike on snow, ice and slippery roads. Okay, number one, don't do it. Just don't do it. Go back to bed. Just leave the bike in the garage and go back to bed. Number two, don't do it. Go back to bed. If you do have to do it, no, seriously, there isn't anything. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's you touch your brakes, you'll slide. If you go too fast, you'll slide. If you go too slow, put your feet down, you'll fall off. It's just no way to do this. You know, you've just got to pick a route and pray to God that Newton's laws in some way help you to avoid the inevitable, which is laying on your arse in the middle of the road with a bike on top of you. So yeah, top tips. I don't think I'm going to get to 10, but I think you get the point. Don't flipping do it. Crikey, bits of this road, they've put so much grit down, it's like riding off-road. The grit's now more of a danger than the ice. Okay, Oregon is absolutely beautiful. I do love it. It's a gorgeous place, and the roads are pretty good. I've just come through the Dead Indian Memorial Highway, which is a high pass, I believe. You saw the snow plows on there. Very, very, very treacherous ride through. But we're going down the hills again. I'm hoping that will be the last of the high passes, but we shall see. But Oregon, look at these trees. It's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, no, I like this place. Wow. Okay. Right, one last thing to suck any joy that was remaining in this trip out of my life. Having just come through that pass, just been told that the next roads, the nice roads that take you down to Eureka, are pretty impassable, so I've got to take the interstate around. But like I say, one more thing to suck the joy out of it. I checked the tyres for my bike this morning, as I do every morning, and the crazy American roads have flattened off my tyre. So let me show you this. So I now have thread showing through my tyre. So not enough twisties to keep a nice even balance, but yeah, enough to stop me in my tracks. So I've stopped in this little town called Medford. Well, it's not a little town, it's actually quite big. And there's this company here called Cycle Gear. They don't have a workshop, they can't take the wheel off the tyre, but they wheel off the bike, but they can change my tyre. And they have one. It's not pretty, but it's it'll fit my bike. So the wheel's off, and they're going to put a new tyre on for me, and then hopefully I'll be on my way again. But just one more thing to get in my way. Yeah, really pleased. Okay, this is Virgil from Cycle Gear.
What's happening, world?
He has just managed to find me probably the ugliest tyre I've ever seen. But yeah, he's helped me fit the bike, fit the tyre to the bike. So thank you very much, Virgil.
This is a big moment in his trip because this is where everything hinges and flips. It's going to be good from here on out.
It's going to be good. I hope you're right. Anyway, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Okay, so we're back on the road. I want to thank the guys at Cycle Gear for actually having a tyre in the size. It was they only had two. One was a set of knobblies, which I've already got at home, which is going to go back on the bike when I get home, and this one, which is the damn ugliest tyre I've ever seen. But yeah, they had the tyre. They helped me get the I managed to get the wheel off my bike myself, and so they could fit it. And Virgil there, as you just met, has kindly helped me get the wheel back on the bike. So I'm back on the road again. You might be asking, how long's that other tyre lasted? Now, that was a Metzler Torrance, and it was brand new before it went on the plane 6 weeks ago. So it hasn't lasted particularly well, but the bike is really heavily loaded, and these roads here, they're dead flat, they're dead straight, and they don't wear evenly. You just the centre of the tyre, as you saw in that picture, just took the brunt. And yeah, as soon as the cords come through, you're going to be susceptible. I need to go right. You're going to be susceptible to punctures, blowouts, and a ticket from the plod. So let's do the right thing. Let's. I want to go. Where do I want to go? I don't want to go south, do I? I need to go the next one along. Oh, you just ruined my clip now, and I'm in the wrong gear. Oh, for God's sake, man, concentrate. Let's chop that bit out. Oh, I need to go Grant's Pass. That's where I need to go. Let's go to Grant's Pass. Yeah, this is it. Do the whirly whirly. This is where you find out whether you've done your nuts up properly. Whoop. And we're off. So I've made it all the way to the west coast. Seems like a long time ago that I was stood on that cold and blustery beach in Delaware looking at the Atlantic, but this is my first glimpse of the Pacific. I thought I'd stop and capture it. So as you saw, I've made it to the west coast despite everything. I've just come through, or just coming through the redwood forest. I think they call this sort of like Avenue of Giants. Some of the trees that I've just been through are absolutely amazing. The camera decided to play up, so I didn't really get a chance to do anything. And they're doing a lot of roadworks along here because the sea seems to be claiming the road just as fast as they're building it. Yeah, look at these redwoods. They're enormous. These are small ones compared to the ones I've just seen. So anyway, I've made it to Highway 101, which is the Pacific Coast Highway, and yeah, I can start heading south now. Oh my god, that's nice. Trees of mystery. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I can start heading south now, and hopefully into warmer climates as the further south I go. So yeah, stick with me. Okay, that's it for this this episode. I've managed to get to the Pacific Coast. I'm in a little town called Eureka. I couldn't push on any further. I do need to close the gap on San Francisco because I need to be there tomorrow afternoon for Alcatraz tour. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping that that's the last of the snow, so that could be my winter episode. But the further south we go, I'm really hoping that it's going to improve. So stick with me for the next episode. We'll be pushing down the Pacific Coast Highway, Route 1. Looking forward to hanging a right at Leggett and heading into San Francisco, and then we can have a look at Alcatraz and see what San Francisco's going to offer for me. But again, thanks for watching.